Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and today we're going to talk about a problem that's very, very common. Ingrown toenails. So what is an ingrown toenail? The truth is, when you've got a nail on the toes that is either cut too short or it breaks or something happens, you can actually get an ingrowing of a side of the nail. So how do we explain that? So usually when we trim toenails, as we discussed yesterday, we want to cut straight across. Instead of curving like you would your fingernails, you want to cut straight across, and you want to just take the corners off so they don't have points on them. But if they go too far back, sometimes they'll start to catch the edge of the skin, and you'll get inflamed, painful, and tender. You'll go to the doctor. A lot of times they'll put you on antibiotics, or they'll tell you other ways to treat it, those kind of things. But the truth is, what it really comes down to is that nail is ingrowing, and it is acting like it is a foreign body, like it's a sliver that's in there. And the body's trying to push the nail out, but because it's attached, it can't be pushed out. It can't be fixed that way. So you get that ingrown toenail. You get the inflammation, the pain, and the discomfort that comes from that area. Most of the time, it'll get really swollen, really painful. If someone were to step on your foot, it hurts like crazy. If you were to bump it, it hurts like crazy. You'll even feel pain when you're in bed with the sheets touching the nail because it gets that tender. It can happen on either side or both sides, and very rarely it can happen if you jam the toenail at the base of the nail where you get an inflammation that's very similar to an ingrown toenail, but it's at the base of the nail. So what really happens is you get that inflammation, and then you say, okay, I have an ingrown toenail. What do most individuals do? Besides search the internet and find information that usually won't fix it, they will usually try to self-treat it. They will do a bathroom surgery. So you go in and you say, okay, I'm going to trim that corner out. But because the nail goes not just to where you can see it, it actually goes further back. It goes about 1 to 2 millimeters under the skin. Most of the time, you're not going to get that whole nail out. You'll get a piece out and it will feel a little bit better, then it will improve until it starts to ingrow again, and it'll get worse again. So that's an ingrown toenail. It's really a nail that, because of the shape of your nail, it will ingrow. What can you do to limit an ingrown toenail in your own foot? It's the way you trim your nails. It's protecting it from injury. And it's being very, very careful with the nail based on its shape and so forth. There are individuals that can do everything wrong and never get an ingrown toenail. There are other individuals that can do everything right, like myself, and still get an ingrown toenail. So they have to do it. So let me give you a couple things that will not work. If you read the internet, you'll actually see, okay, if you got an ingrown toenail, you just cut a little V in the nail, right in the center of it, and it will pull everything together. That does not work. The disadvantage of that, the nail grows from the base out. It doesn't grow from the sides. And so if you put that V in the nail, does it help? No, it really doesn't, because the nail is not going to collapse in towards that V, nor is it going to pull things out of the edge. So that really doesn't work. Bathroom surgery, like we were talking about, where you're trimming out the corners, isn't going to fix the problem. It can fix it short term. It can take away the pain or discomfort, but usually doesn't fix it long term. So what things should you do at home? You can soak it. Easiest way to soak it is warm water and Epsom salt. Any kind of salt will work, but you just want to make sure it's more salty than the body so it can draw out any infection, draw out any inflammation. It will actually alleviate the pain. Does it fix the ingrown toenail? It does not, but it can take away the pain to allow you to continue to function. You can stick something underneath the corner of that nail, especially if it's just the very tips that are catching. If it's further back, that's a lot harder to do. When I was a missionary in Brazil, what I used to do is I'd take a little wooden matchstick and stick it under the corner of that nail to try to lift it up. And that would work for a period of time. The disadvantage, you're still not fixing the problem. So you're still saying, okay, I need to do something else. And that's when you may want to go get it seen by a doctor and actually get it evaluated. So soaking, preventing any infection by doing that kind of soaking, trimming out the corners of the nails to minimize it until it gets bad enough that you can't do it, or lifting the edges of the nails. That's some of the good options you have that you can do at home. Tomorrow, I would like to discuss what you can do to fix this problem. And I'm going to go into some of the treatments that a doctor would do to treat your ingrown toenails and give you some options so you can say, okay, when should I go to the doctor? And if I go to the doctor, what are the things that are going to be done or could be done or should be done to fix this problem? This is Dr. Brandt Gibson, and this is your podiatry tip number 7. What is an ingrown toenail and what are the things you can do at home? Thank you.